Boom! Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Byron Rogers here again, creator of the Alchemy of the Mind process and the Loop of Destiny, where we just aim to raise your level of consciousness about how to create the life you want with deliberation, moving forward with your life. So today's principle is going to be about a revelation that I got that drastically changed my life, that I sincerely believe and know will be able to change your life and empower you to have more power over the acquisition of personal power within your world. I call this principle simply the difference between strength and power. The difference between strength and power. What is the difference between strength and power? I'm going to start off by telling you a little story about a moment in my life when I realized the difference, when I reached out and grabbed the revelation that is the difference between strength and power. You know, a lot of us in our life, we spend time chasing one, and we don't realize that one is infinitely more important and more valuable to us on our human experience if we want to have control over our worlds. So one day, I'm sitting in Paris with a team of other individuals who were doing executive protection at the time. I'm sitting there and we're having lunch, and the waiter comes up and we all order whatever we're going to order. And I ordered a Coca-Cola. We all ordered Coca-Cola, actually. I don't usually even drink soda, but that time I did because everyone was doing it and, I wanted to be cool. So I ordered a Coca-Cola, and I'll never forget when we found out that the Coca-Cola was $20. $20 a piece. Every Coca-Cola at the table was $20. And I remember thinking to myself, like, is this special Coca-Cola? Like, this is a Coca-Cola. It was in a bottle, but I didn't know, like, do I take the bottle home? Do I recycle it? Does the bottle, like, grow legs and make me dinner as well? Is that why it's $20? Because that makes a little bit more sense. No, it was a $20 Coca-Cola in Paris, about 3 blocks away from the Eiffel Tower. And I remember sitting there just thinking about how that could happen, how you could charge that much for a drink of soda, And then all of a sudden, my mind slowed down and I went to a different place. And my mind started to I started to ask myself, well, it's a $20 Coca-Cola, but 20 is not a really big number. Okay, relative to the Coca-Cola, yeah, that's a big number relatively, but really, why are you stressing out over $20? And then I started to dig a little bit deeper and look inside myself a little bit deeper, and I started to be like, well, you've done pretty good. You've done great, You've spent so much of your life, so much of your time building a physical asset that has given you the ability to really operate within, a high realm of the security industry, because I was working as an executive protection agent at the time, in layman terms, bodyguard at the time, and that's what I was doing in Paris with the other guys on my detail. And I remember thinking to myself, you've done good, Byron. You're on this detail. You've been doing this kind of work. You've been to over 50 countries all around the world, and you've acquired power. And you're sitting at the table right now with a Navy SEAL, a reconnaissance Marine, a power lifter, one of the strongest men in the world. You're sitting at the table with men that are at the pinnacle, the highest threshold, the apex of physical ability. And you're stressing out over $20. Why is that? Why is that? It was around that time when a verse that I was taught when I was a young man, some wisdom from the Bible came back to me. Physical labor profits a man very little. Physical labor profits a man very little. And then I saw myself back in time going through my paradigm, my belief structures as a young man. I saw myself seeing other strong men as I grew up and being like, I want to be strong like that man because that man has power. And I remember going to the gym and working out all the time and getting all these reps in and spending all these hours, man hours at the gym. I used to do my Marine Corps work day, then go to the gym for an hour and a half every single day. And I remember just spending all of this time and effort and energy to perfect this physical body that I had. And where had it gotten me? It had gotten me very far. But at the end of the day, after I reminisced about all the action figures and all the action movies I'd watched and video games I used to love when I was little, with all these really strong men doing all these really strong, amazing things, I started to realize that, wait a minute, we're all still sitting here in the same boat, stressed out about $20. Who really has the power? What's really going on? Where is our personal power gone while we've been focused on these things that we've believed our entire lives are so important to us? Where has it all gone? Where is it all? Where is it accumulating? It's not accumulating here, because in about 30, 40 minutes, we all have to go and be somewhere, and we don't have freedom. And we don't have 100% control over our lives. We're doing what we think we want to do because we think this type of job and whatever else is paying the bills, and it's validating certain parts of our personality, which is awesome. And it was a great time in life. But I started to realize that, though, my consciousness started to stretch. My consciousness about what was really going on in my life. And it could have been different for everyone at that table, and it might be different for you, but what was going on in my life, my consciousness was being stretched and was raising about what needed to take place in my life. And what I really eventually arrived at was, I realized, hey, look, I'm sitting at the table with some really, really, really legitimate bad dudes. You know, I got Navy SEALs, reconnaissance, special forces guys sitting here. I got power lifters, one of the strongest men in the world, sitting here next to me. And we all have to jump when this guy says jump, and we all have to go when this guy says go. And if we go out to work today and one of us dies on the job, what happens? We can be replaced within 48 hours. And the machine that we all work for does not skip a beat. Whereas if the individual who is employing all of us gets sick, all of our livelihoods are at stake. So who, where, and what is really got the power? So physical labor, working on just the physical. The acquisition of physical skills and ability are good, but that's not how you acquire the maximum amount of power and influence in your life. And so there's a difference between literally physical strength and power. And when I realized that, I started to realize, well, how can I acquire power? What's the difference between me and the guy that's up in the hotel room right now taking a nap, relaxing while we stress out over $20 Coca-Colas? What's the really big difference? The difference is that gentleman up there has cultivated a skill. He's cultivated his mind. He's cultivated his ability to be very good and influence and to do all of the different things that have to do with the acquisition of skills and ability that are not just physical. What that individual brings to the table is something that other people will pay him for time and time again, because he can reach multiple people with his skill set. Whereas our skill set is just simply localized to our physical bodies. The acquisition of skill sets that can influence more is how you can acquire more power in your life. You are going to be successful. You're going to experience financial success, gain, and prosperity based on how many people you can help. Any and all types of compensation, be it spiritual, mental, physical, emotional compensation, is directly linked to the amount of people that you can help. You pay your light bill because they are helping you and giving you a service. You pay every bill that you're paying for the same exact reason. You help a nice little old lady carry her groceries out to the car, and what happens? Boom, an emotional payoff takes place. It's awesome. It's a great feeling. You feel good about yourself. So the skill that you cultivate that's going to bring you success and prosperity in life, be it physically, mentally, emotionally, and even spiritually, is going to be the one that gives you the ability to influence the highest number of people. So then you can be compensated in direct proportion to your influence, your positive influence in the world. Everyone gets paid. Even the guy that exterminates all of the bugs at your house. Everyone doing anything and everything only gets paid for what they can contribute. So if you want to acquire true power, work on something that is going to help you contribute. And it needs to be something that is larger than just your physical body. And this principle is ambidextrous. It also has to do with women. If you're going through your life and you're always concerned about just simply your physical body, your appearance, how good you look, how beautiful you are. Yeah, those things will give you a type of power, but it'll give you the same exact type of power that a big, strong man gets when he walks in the room. A strong man walks into the room and he gets intimidation factor. You know, he gets the type of power where the primal type of fear and respect based on that power. But that is a short-term, a short-reaching type of influence. You can only influence those in the room that are susceptible to that type of power. Whereas if you walk into that room accomplished, as you walk into that room as a person who has an individual, an intellectual and emotional and spiritual capital that you contribute to situations. When you show up at that business meeting, is everyone just looking at your outfit to see how you look, or just likes you around because you're a big guy and you make them feel safe? Or are they thinking, this individual right here, she is smart, she is one of our best planners and X, Y, and Z and strategists for the company, and she actually makes a difference. She contributes intellectually to the conversation when we have a conversation. You're out dating. You're coming from a masculine standpoint. Yeah, you show your muscles, but when you open your mouth, your instrument of influence. When you open that mouth and your instrument of influence, what comes out? Do you have the individual capital on the inside of you? A spiritual, mental, emotional capital of value that you've been working on and cultivating, that you can use to influence and contribute positively within your world? If the answer is no, then you're probably not experiencing very much control over your world. And when I had that revelation, my world and my life changed. Well, ladies and gentlemen, and I really hope that you were enjoying that video you were just watching. It's actually just a small excerpt, a clip from what I call the loop of destiny, which is simply a way for you and I to work together. It's a way for me to send you a full-length video every single week and literally to coach you on the implementation of the principles within the video, principles designed to help you raise your level of consciousness and to use the skills and abilities that you've already used to create the life that you have, but to use those with deliberation, purpose, in order to create the life that you want, the life you know is yours, the life that you know you're capable of. So if that's interesting to you, if learning how to use your entire conscious mind is something that you love to learn more about, I want to encourage you to just check out the link beneath this screen or the link that will show up on the screen after the video, and let's work together. Allow me to help get you on the path to your own greater destiny, purpose, and future. Get in the loop of destiny with your own destiny, and let's work together. So until then, until the next video, I want to encourage you to find your purpose, to live with passion, and to reach your destiny. Thank you.